More than 2 years into the pandemic, and we are still seeing struggles in the way we manage COVID-19. As the surge intensifies, mental health also comes in making our situation more critical. Many of us are facing challenges that can be stressful, overwhelming, and cause strong emotions among adults and children. Let us stay updated with the right information, starting with effective ways to protect ourselves and our loved ones who are at risk.
Today we are launching NOLITC Cares, a gender and development program of the provincial government of Negros Occidental. NOLITC Cares is another innovative strategy of NOLITC Tech4ED Center focusing on the promotion of self-care and mental health during this pandemic. Learning to cope with stress in a healthy way will make us the people we care about and those around us become more resilient.
Join our discussions this afternoon with our expert speaker coming from Hearticulate Psychological Center. Listen and engage as they talk about mental health, the risk, treatment options, and the overall pandemic mental health strategies.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone! How can we possibly be romantic and in love in the times of COVID? My name is Miss Red Lorente, and I will be serving as your host for this event. Welcome to the first ever episode of NOLITC Cares webinars with the topic Love in the Times of Pandemic. And a warm welcome to all of our friends over at Facebook and Facebook live stream. You may utilize our comment section and let's greet one another. Happy Valentine's Day. Before we begin, just a few house rules to ensure that we have a smooth flow. Firstly, please fill out the attendance right now. The link to the online attendance form is pinned in the description bar, or you may also scan the QR code flashed on the screen. Thank you. We will not be able to catch up with all of your comments, so if you have any questions, please post them in the open forum form, which can be found in the description bar as well, or you may scan the QR code flashed on your screen right here. Alternatively, you may place your questions in the comment section. Feel free to post some insights in there as well. We would really love to see you interacting in our webinar session. The moderator will bring them up towards the end of the presentation. You will also be receiving a certificate for attending this webinar online. You only need to accomplish the online evaluation of the webinar. Again, those can be found in the description box below. Last but not the least, invite your peers, your colleagues, and loved ones to join in this wonderful webinar. I hope that you are all catching up with me with some of our opening reminders. If you have not seen our previous posts yet, you can always check out our social media accounts, follow us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Do you know that Valentine's Day is the second largest holiday celebrated around the world? Romeo and Juliet was set in Italy, and proposing at a restaurant is not a good romantic idea. There are many notions of love. So please watch this love trivia video. Okay, those are our trivia surrounding notions surrounding about the idea of love. Hope that you have enjoyed our video. Thank you. So if you have any idea and you know some trivia about love, you may share that in the comment section. Please share your knowledge and your insights. We would love to learn as well from you. Thank you. I know you're all so excited to begin and to listen to our session for today. So, to kickstart today's webinar, allow me to introduce to you our expert speaker for this learning session. Our expert speaker is one of the most sought after or aspiring psychologists in the province. She is a mental health advocate, a registered psychometrician, and guidance counselor by profession. On her spare time, she enjoys playing chess. She inspires many of us by her inspiring and positive perspective towards life, her healthy relationships, and being compassionate towards oneself. Let us welcome to our virtual stage our expert speaker for today, Dr. Donalyn Guerrero Lastima.
Thank you very much, Red. And yes, good afternoon, everyone. Maayong hapon or magandang hapon. No, even we reach beyond Negros, I'm sure, through this virtual platform. So good afternoon. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, we are too. I'm so happy to have you with us, Dr. Donna, and happy Valentine's Day to you. Would you like to
Wow.
greet our virtual audience? Happy Hearts Day?
Okay, sa mga in love dyan, celebrate love, no? Even sa hindi masyadong in love, let's still celebrate love. Happy Valentine's, everyone.
Exactly. Are you in love, Dr. Donna?
Always, all the time, no?
Yes,
I
very
am in
much.
love.
Yes, I am, though I am feeling in love as well. And we are so excited to hear what you've got to say about this topic of love in the time of pandemic. So we would like to give you the virtual space now. The virtual floor is now yours. Please take it away.
Thank you very much, Red. So, as mentioned by Red, this afternoon will be a very interesting afternoon for all of us. It's because that's not only that we're going to learn something, but we would like you to understand the concept of love. Why do people fall in love, no? And they end up crying. Love in the time of Corona or COVID-19. This is my topic for this afternoon. And yeah, very swak na swak because today we celebrate love. And today we are still in the middle of pandemic. So how do we express our love to our loved ones, or how do we exemplify our feelings of love to someone that we like or someone around us? Okay, so let me proceed with this. So as mentioned by Red, I am a counselor and at the same time now a mental health advocate. So I'm so happy to be here. I am connected with UP Visayas. At the same time, I am a private counselor of Hearticulate Psychological Center. So yeah, this afternoon we're going to talk about love, relationship, and all of that. But before that, I think it's best also to get to know more of our feelings this afternoon. Kamusta ang inyong mga puso? How are you feeling today? So right now, I want you to use the chat box, those who are in our virtual floor, to please you just send emoticons that reflects your emotions or feelings the best. Ano bing na-feel nyo subong? Are you feeling happy? Yehey! May ka-date na ko. Okay. Feeling sad? Wala. Ya pa ko nakita. Wala na seen. No? Angry? And whatever. Maybe surprised. No? I want to remind you that any emotion that you feel at this very moment, no, let's validate your emotion. It's okay. Whatever feelings, may it be positive or negative feeling that you feel, it is okay. It is your feeling. But I want you to be here with with your feelings, that with the feelings that you feel. I just want you to be here, no, to learn and to interact with us. No, we're very excited to interact with you too, no, especially in this very special topic. Now, having said that, kamusta na kaya ang ating mga puso? Ha? Tumitibok-tibok pa ba? Just this morning in TUP Visayas, no, we had our love jam. That's why I'm wearing red, no, because red means in love. In love ako parati. No? In love with myself and in love with the people that nakakasalamuha ko. No? But anyways, kamusta naman ang mga puso ninyo? Tumitibok-tibok pa ba? Those feelings, those colors, no, according to GMA News Public Affairs, no, it conveys different feelings, emotions that reflects your relationship status. So your dress code for today. Right now, sino bang naka-red dyan? No? Hindi ko masyadong makita, no? All those who are joining because I am focused on the screen. But anyways, please feel free to chat or use the chat box if you would want to say something in relation to this PowerPoint presentation. Okay, sino bang in a relationship? Katulad ko, I am in a relationship. How about orange, no? Ang relationship nyo ba is talking stage pa lang? No? Yellow, single, and ready to mingle. Oh, di ba? Green, bakit nangin halaman? Siguro para may ano, no, in love with the halaman. Blue, it's quite complicated. Very interesting topic. Purple is designated, third wheel. Third wheel ka ngayon. No? Ikaw yung magdadrive at ikaw pa yung magbabayad ng date. Oh, come on. Pink, no to jowa, crush lang muna. Mga estudyante who are in this virtual floor or in this room, please, crush lang muna. Okay? Sino naman yung pusong sawi? No? Heartbroken. Sawi na, nag-ghost pa. Oh, ang sakit naman yan. Black. But this afternoon, let's get to talk more about those feelings, those love or emotions that we feel when we fall in love. Aside from that, colors, let's check on your relationship status. Ano bang relationship status mo, Bes? Are you in this type of relationship? No, you jump, I jump. mala Titanic ang peg, no? Jack and Rose lang, no? Do you know that in a research conducted by Ellen Burstett, newly smitten lovers, yung parang first time, no, na nag-experience ng new love, no? Uh, they often idealize their partner. They magnify their virtues kahit na hindi ko masyadong gusto ang kanyang pananamit, no? Hindi yan nanamian ng the way he carries or she carries herself, but sami alam ko yung saya yung mag-istorya, no? You try to magnify the virtues and explaining away their flaws. And also, new couples, no, when you are in this type of feelings of relationship, kung new couples daw, they exalt relationship itself. No? It's very common, no, to think that they are in a relationship, that there's closer, and looking forward, no, to a fruitful and meaningful life in the next months to come. Yung mga students ba natin ngayon, no, when you convey your love, how do you express it? Di ba? Text na lang ba? Pag sinabing, nag-heart na ako sa profile pic mo, is that it? No? Kasi when you try to look at the history of courtship, parang ang pag-evolve niya, no, comes into the, especially, no, in the context of technology now, it really affects how we do courting or even dating. You see? But if you are in this type of relationship, oy, why not? Go, girl, go. You and, para bang, grabe naman ito. You and me against the world. No, hindi gusto ng parents mo at hindi ka rin gusto ng parents niya. Hindi tayo gusto ng world. But still, we love each other. O, di ba? In the first stage of love, no, it is driven by sex hormones. You know, when we are in love, gali, it is more likely a cocktails of emotions na na-feel natin, no? The interactions of our hormones. So in the first stage, actually, if you have this very, very strong feelings, emotions to this person, it is affected by sex hormones. Now, we call that the testosterone and the estrogen, both in male and female. That's why the feeling is so strong. And parang hindi mo kaya na mawala siya. O, di ba? Grabe nga pag-ibig, no? Estrogen and testosterone are two basic types of hormones present equally in women and men, no, that excites our feelings. And of course, it conveys lust within the brain. That's why you would want to touch the person. Or maybe, dito nag-check pa lang tayo ng relationship status ninyo. Maybe your status is the North and the South love story. I'm sure you're familiar with the Mala crash landing on you. The movie, hindi yung real life. Kasi in real life, di ba, Ma'am Sally, they finally decided to tie the knot. Oh, we're so excited for it. But you know, when I say North and South love story, it's more of a long distance kind of relationship. Are you in the LDR mode? Kasi during this pandemic, no, research would show that relationship is really affected by the manner we interact to one another, especially that our mobility na is hampered and we cannot just go out and meet our loved one or our lovers. So pag mala North and South, medyo challenging. But how do you keep up? Especially those married couple that they are in this kind of yung LDR. Okay? So attraction is actually this part of relationship attraction stage is an amazing time, very very good feeling, because in this stage you will feel that you are truly love struck. Yung parang wala kang ibang naisip, wala kang iba na paminsan, siya lang gid, kada lantaw ko ni kay you been, siya lang ang nakita ko, itsura yung gidya dok doon. Ga-smile ni siya sa ako, pero ang itsura, hindi na itsura sa artista, itsura na sa imo nga pinalangga. Yun. So scientists think that the three main neurotransmitters that are involved in the attraction stage are the adrenaline, the dopamine, and the serotonin. What are these hormones? So these hormones are all positive hormones that affects our feelings of love. The dopamine actually, is the hormone that affects the love-struck couples. It affects their brain and basically, gives them the high feeling or high levels of being in love. Like you cannot just do anything but to think lang of that person that you love. No? This chemical also stimulates the desire and the reward. When I see him, kung makita ko siya, okay ng adlaw ko. Kung naka-post na siya sa iyang timeline, yeah, ano kagali, ano gani, ng you are more of a stalker. So may reward ka na sa self mo. I feel so happy. No? So basically, dopamine gives you this kind of stimulation, the desire and the reward. So by triggering an intense rush of pleasure. So you would want to see it isubong kay virtual na, now you could, maybe it will, ma-help sa imo. Maybe you call the person or you look at the video or send video. Now, Fisher suggests couples often show the signs of surging dopamine. No? It increased energy, na walang di ka mapakali, do halos tanan ubrahon mo. You know, parents, when your child is in love, this is the right time. No? Suguon mo sa, because every time na lang, okay, ubrahon. Ang energy is very lively, no? Less need for food or sleep. Hindi. Ang kanta ni Tutsi Guevara, hindi makatulog sa gabi. No? So, ikaw na lang ang nakikita. Focus attention to someone that he or she loves, no, and exquisite delight in the smallest details. Mo ginakkilig-kilig agad, no, batian mo lang ang hurago, kito ka-cute, ay kanami, matian. Ka-cute saya magtulog, oh. Pero pag pamana mo na, pag pangasawa mo na, ay Diyos ko, kagahod, manis iya yaman, kagahos tipo sana, kay matulog ko, you know, but in this stage of relationship, the attachment stage, no, medyo focus ka sa mga nanamian mo lang, anay. Medyo hindi pa focus sa tanan. Aside from the dopamine, no, we have this serotonin. What is this serotonin? No? One of love's most important chemicals, no, that explain why we fall in love. Why do you fall in love? Because of this serotonin. This hormone, ang iya lang niya important contribution sa imo is to make you feel good. And this is the reason why your lover keeps on popping into your thoughts. Lover, gisa bala. O sige, as someone that you like or someone that you love, no, keeps on popping because of this serotonin, no. Hindi ka, hindi do, kada corner sang wall nga makita mo, tsura yan lang, no. Kung maglantaw ka TV, change mong channel, tsura yan lang. Wow, grabe. None. Sige. Now, this one is very interesting, no, news. And this picture was taken last 2020 February, and this picture or this kasalan happened in Bacolod. This is a mass wedding by the government. Filipino couples kiss while wearing their face masks in the government-sponsored mass wedding in Bacolod. So come into context of those feelings, emotions that you feel, indeed, that makes you fall in love. Basically, it also gives you the, parang meron ka ring realization that how could I experience that, Doc Donna? How could I perform, actions that could contribute to my feelings or would increase my love to the person that I love, because it's pandemic, right? But take a look at this, walang pandemic na although it's in the middle of pandemic, but still, they continue to profess their love to one another. Okay? Very interesting. So attachment attachment is the stage of relationship wherein the couple decided to take the relationship into advanced level, just like the picture nga ginpakita ko sa inyo na mapakasal na, because they feel that they would want to settle down and bear children and fall in love with the children and making a family, in short. So this stage actually nga ang question, tinga may attachment kida nga akong when we talk about love, relationship, nga may marriage gid. Because primarily, hindi ka man pwede mag-stop lang sa last, hindi ka man pwede ma-stop lang kaya sa attraction. Dapat ma-move gid siya sa next level. Pero there are also relationships nga hasta lang da sa last, dira lang sa kutob, tapos do hindi ko siya feel, lain naman. Especially when you're single, diba? You try to get to know as many people as you want, so that when you reach this attachment stage, more likely you are very open to the person ginpili nimo, and you would want to live your life together with this person, just like Sally and Levy. So scientists think there might be two major hormones involved in this feeling. In this attachment stage, diba? Remember, balik lang ko jutay, sa last, we have the testosterone and the estrogen, that basically physical gid yung una, physical. Second to that is the attraction stage. So tapos na sa physical, sa emotional na the feeling, the hormones like the serotonin, the dopamine, no, and other neurotransmitters that makes you feel, I want to be with this person. And that attachment, this is the point, no, of the relationship nga, okay, gusto ko na gid mag get into a serious relationship sa iya. That's why, no, diri nga parts ng relationship, no, lain naman ang nagaka-intensify, no, the oxytocin and the vasopressin. Oxytocin and oxytocin actually, no, is a hormone, no, that release after love making, no, that also cements the bond, no, of two people in love. But vasopressin is just like a hormones nga nag-cement man sang bond sang nanay kag sang bata. So like these hormones are being released right after love making. Okay? Sige. Okay, now this is the question, no? Where do broken hearts go? Oh, napakanta pa si Doc Don. Maybe some of you there might be feeling, no, bakit during this pandemic, siling niya okay pa kami, pero subong hindi ko na siya makita, Doc Don. Maski kapila ko na siya gin-text, gintawgan, do hindi nagi ko siya makita, no? So, nagasakit ang akong balatsyagon. It keeps me wondering what had happened. So, where do broken hearts go? And maybe you're kind of a relation medyo complicated by product of your choices, and it gets complicated. Now we will talk about it. And syempre pag ghosted ka, complicated. I believe majority the millennials, no, and the Gen Z, whenever I say ghosted, they could have an idea, no, when we say ghosted. But those medyo hindi na sa ganitong generation, most likely they would want to know what does it mean when you are ghosted or when you ghost someone. This is actually, quite a term used by teenagers now. When their status of relationship is complicated, no, 2 minus 1 equals sad heart. Broken-hearted me. Okay, so basically, when we talk about the different neuro transmitters or the chemicals, now we get to understand that when we fall in love, gali, it's not the heart that says the thing. The heart is just a muscle. Kagina ginhambal sa amon doctor, and his topic Unbreak My Heart, no, that talks about mga physiological diseases caused by heart, no. Basically siling ni doc, no, ang heart is just a muscle. So all the feelings that we feel basically comes from our brain. So when there's chemicals, the brain is entices to fall in love. Like for example, like when you have the surging of testosterone and the estrogen and the serotonin and the likes in all stages of love, then we might say we are in love. Or we call it love because, Doc Don, it feels like love. But the most accelerating of all human emotions is probably, our nature. When we look at love, we look at love in the context that we would want to procreate. We want to give humanity our contribution, no, to reproduce, no, to have another human species. Okay, so now you might be wondering, now if we talk about love, is it really about romantic love lang gid bala, or is there anything else? This afternoon I would like to explain very briefly, that when you think of love, you do not only think of love in a romantic way. There are so many kind of love, and I would like to share this to you. This one is from the Greek, no. So basically, when we say Greek, syempre sila ning nauna, no, sa pag-intindi, no, sa mga situations, no, and mga emotions, philosophies, no, about life and humanity. So a long time ago, pagaliya, gina-define na niya ang different types of love. That's why nga nag-start siya gani sa Greek. No? So para mas maintindihan naton, we have this translation, the English word for it, no. So eros, the description, no, I've highlighted some description, pero we will talk about it more. No, the sigon talang diri nga part. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. None. 8 bala. No, we have eros, philia, ludus, agape, pragma, philautia, storge, and mania. Now let's try to look at the different definition of which and try to check on yourself. Di ina di nga love ang permi ko gina-portray. Kay base, it is not only limited to one. No? It could be a combination of this love description. Let's start with this. The one that I've discussed earlier, the different stages of love, is focused more on the eros. No? Eros. Because when we think of Valentine's, pero may lagi dyan lovers, hindi pwede nga self-love. How? I am, I am dating myself because I love myself. Pwede amo na, no? Pero that's the different context, no? It's self-love. It's a different kind of love. But this time, let us focus muna sa eros. What is eros? Eros most likely is connotes romantic love. Like what you are feeling to someone that you love or you like, no, the opposite sex, no, or it could be the same sex. No, romantic love, the personal infatuation showing passion. That when you are with this person, I cannot do but express my love to this person. No, the love catalyst is the physical body. So how to show your love, no? So of course, having a romantic feeling, no, show love by touching, hugging, other gestures, admiring the other person inside out. So when you remember ang aton topic earlier, no, it's more on ara siya sa last, no, eros, no. Eros means passion. Passion, no? Be passionate. Eros about someone that you love. Ludos is a playful kind of love. This is actually the beginning stages of intimate love. So like for example, sunog-sunlog, pangilay-kilay, no, padinay-dinay anay, no, things like that. So how to show our love, no, through ludos. We show interest, no, in the one you admire. Like you put heart, you convey likes, or maybe put some comments that manamian siya, ma-affirm siya, things like that, no? Para mabalik sa imo kung anong iyan na batyagan, no? But basically, no, we spend nice, laughing hours together, no? Cute, no? Cute lang sa amo ni nga kind of love, no? Engage in whimsical conversation. What is whimsical conversation? Something that kung kaisa do wala man gani na wala man siya, wala diri, wala didto. But when you are talking to this person, it seems nga hindi maubos ang oras, no? Mastoryahan, basta updanay ka mo kang mag-istoryahan. So, Ludos is a playful kind of love. This is the beginning stages of intimate love. Yan. Okay, another love that we need to understand. No? We have philia. Philia is affectionate love, like friendship love. No? A love that runs deep in true friendships. Diba? Katahom. The love catalyst is more of the mind. When your mind engages in conversation, you feel like it seems nga doka soul sister ta ka, no? The philia, no? How to show filial love. So we have, of course, we support our friend. We tell them, ginambalanta nga, everything, whatever happens to you, whatever feelings, emotions that you feel sa amo nga stage ng life mo, I'm just here supporting a friend. No? Be open in your communication. Trust is also a very important ingredient in philia or having a relationship. Now, some days you dive into deep conversation. When we look at friendship for me is a gem. Philia, affectionate love to a friend is a gem. Not all people not all could experience the feeling of having a loyal and trusted friend. So if you have this kind of friend, no, you are in this kind of relationship with a friend or true friend, no, you honor it, you respect it, and you treasure it, no, because this is also a very good, no, kind of love, friendship. They say daw if you knew your friends kuno at 30 years old ka na and up, that would mean the friendship would last long because of the syempre ang levels ng maturity nyo as compared to your friends when you were in elementary or in high school, di ba? When you remember them as your friends, say, okay, friends ko sila, no? But you're fortunate when you have your good friends with you when you were still in the elementary, high school, and even to college, and even after college, di ba? That nga ara sa inyo. So you're very lucky to have that. Okay, so you can also express love, no, through your friends. This one is storge. No, storge is love of the child or familiar love. So the childhood and childhood friends. No, this kind of relationship. No, nag-start siya from, of course, from the isang gagmay pa kamo sa wala pa kamo buot. No, sa upod pa kamo balay-balay, upod pa kamo inter-inter, napagid upod pa kamo. No, it's kind of love. No, love of the child. So don't how to show love. No, through this, don't hold grudges. We practice forgiveness, diba? When we express our love through storage now, we love like a child. Like when the child, diba mag-play sila, tapos whenever mainaway sila, then pila ka minutes, they're okay now. Diba? This is also a type of love na kanami man i-express. No? Like you don't hold grudges, you practice forgiveness, and you show gratitude to the one that you care. You give each other quantity and quality of them because you have to understand, even if you are in a relationship, you two are both unique individual. You two have different ways to make yourself better. Hindi ka nang lang niya pero lang of the night. Share happy and memorable moments together. No? Storage. No? Pwede gid sa friends, pwede gid sa loved one. The pragma. Pragma actually is a mature love that has endured for decades. You look at the picture, no? This kind of love, how I wish to experience such love when I think of my husband, enduring love, mature love that has endured for decades. And the catalyst is the etheric, the subconscious. And how to show love through pragma. We seek and show constant efforts, diba? We when we plant, we want our plant to grow. And when we don't water the plant, we don't take care of it, most likely mapatay siya. So this kind of love, the pragma, the enduring love, needs to have watering, needs to have seeking and showing constant efforts for the person that you love. Work on developing understanding between yourselves. You choose your work and the love that you share forever, and you don't think of a replacement. Focus on kung may problema gid man, you focus on how to restructure and maybe repair the relationship. This is very interesting man nga type of love because when you look at elderly couples, di ba? Ako yan, nakaka-amaze ko na yan when I happen to be in a restaurant or a place with elderly couple and they seem so in love and they seem lang, no? Tiwa ita kabalo. Pero, mabalabo mo na if they're truly in love, if they're really into each other, despite the decades of relationship. Wow, very, very ideal. Laka namin. This one, I happen to have a counseling, muli yung nature sang relationship, mania, obsessive love. Of course, we don't want to express our love through this way, obsessive love. How do we express mania or obsessive love? Basically, possession. You have this kind, kun ka lang. Hindi ka na magtulok sa iba, no? Pwede balaan mo na, hindi ka katulok sa iba. When we are together, I want you to focus on me. Yeah. Wala ka na sa iba niya igugmaon. But take a look at the different types of love. Paano niya di ba, express niya man na. So, sa love niya sa iyang parents, love niya sa iyang children, love niya sa iyang friends. Pero if you are into obsessive love, it is madness over a partner. Up to the extent, that you don't want your partner to be happy, kung hindi ikaw ang upod. Tika hindi na siya ganing malipayon sa imo, hindi ka magsugot, na? That this is actually, the catalyst is the survival instinct. Maybe you might think that I could not go on with my life without this person and siya lang gid. Tuod ka, siya lang gid. Sige, storyahan ta na. Recognize, if you are in this type of love, we have to recognize the obsessive pattern. Why are you acting the way you are? Ano mga pattern? Nga ang gaka mo nang gakabatsagan mo, no? Try to invest more trust in your relationship. Why do you think of your relationship as something na hindi mag-last? Or maybe basi magalin sa bayaan niya ka, why do you have that kind of insecurity, no? Kay there might be a factor nga ikaw mismo, no? Ara sa imo ang problema. That's why, no? Obsession. Communicate and act on possessive patterns. Di ba? When you communicate, you treat the person that in this relation, you treat him as an object, not a person anymore. No, and it's not healthy. Mania is not healthy. Focus on yourself more than other person. So it's more on selfish kind of love. Okay? Sige. Moving on, this one is what I want to give emphasis more because I think in this pandemic, we need more of this. And most of my clients, in my own experience, mostly they tend to forget this kind of love because they are focusing more on giving out, giving to others, giving to family, friends, giving to loved one, and forgetting that, ako gali kinanglan ko man. Di ba? Philautia is self-love. It's empathetic, no? It's an empathetic way of loving oneself and others. The love catalyst is the soul. Ikaw, no, within you. And how to show your love to yourself. There's so many things how to do it, but I'll just explain some. So of course, you express unconditional love in every situation. Like when you think of yourself, I happen to attend a webinar on mindful self-compassion, and it's very interesting, no, to note that majority of the participants, the mga 40 kami, no, when we were asked, no, how would you treat a friend? Like for example, if you have a friend, may friend ka ba lang nga nagalain ng matsyag or lain ng balatsyago na heartbroken, how would you comfort the friend? No, mambal ka nga, I will take the friend somewhere nga para malingaw sa, para ma-happy siya. Di ba mo na, I will give the friend this and this and this, no? And when we were asked, ikaw when you feel heartbroken, when you feel so sad, when you feel, how would you treat yourself? And majority of us would, really think really long. And when we responded, most of us, when we responded, galang-alang pa. So, sa amo lang na, nga experience, you get to realize that when we think of others, we give all. But when we think, when it's the time for ourselves, nga ibalik to, nga agad-duwa ta. Di ba la? So, you have to understand, you have to fill in your need first before you can fill in other people's needs. Yeah. So love yourself first. Expressing unconditional love in every situation to yourself. No, engaging in action that are good to humankind, helping others is also kind of self-love because when we help others, we feel good about ourselves. Take time out for charity. This is what I'm talking about. No, extending good deeds to improve the lives of others. But more so, self-love would more likely focus on the self. All right? Sige, since it's Valentine's Day, more of my topic is more on self-love, but we will be also tackling some issues related to eros or relationship. Now, this one is very interesting nga gin-include ko nino because permita lang sa mga kanta bala, mga Moira, mga padugo, permi lang nga ghosted lang niya, permi binayaan. And very interestingly, sometimes, when I observe teenagers or even couples who are in love or heartbroken, they get to romanticize the feeling. Gina-romanticize nila ang feeling of being heartbroken. Why is that? Okay? So what is the psychology of ghosting? Let's try to define, Anay, what is ghosting. Now, ghosting is when someone you're dating ends the relationship by cutting off all. Wala Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wala telepono, landline, kumakato ka sila balay, wala man siya, without any explanation. Ang sakit naman yan. Di kung hindi ka na sa akon, hambala na lang ko, you may say something like that. Pero may mga tao, gikisa pa, Diyos ko, umalis na walang paalam. Receiving the ultimate silent treatment after several dates, nag-getting to know man kamo. May mga pa-tweetams pa. No? Pero, wala, hindi mo na siya makita. Ang masubo pa, kung ginhatag mo na ang tanan-tanan. Ba, mga teenagers who are in this virtual room, you have to be very careful because dating do not misconstrue love, with lust. No, it's a different thing. Okay, Ghost ka ba? Magparamdam ka naman. Do you know that there are reasons, psychological reasons, no, why someone ghosts? Why do people ghost a person? No? Basically, ghosting is avoidance. No? It is a defense mechanism. We avoid because we don't want to face the music. We don't want to go through the process. And maybe, hindi mo lang siya type it, tapos gusto mo na lang niya i-cut without niha-niho. And often, no, it stems from fear of conflict. So most likely, we avoid because we don't want conflict to arise. Which means, no, the heart of ghosting is about not wanting to avoid confrontation, avoid difficult conversations, or even hurting someone's feelings, di ba? Kung kaisa, we would want people to explain. Pero kung wala naman dapat i-explain, nga kinanglan mo papamatian na explanation. Kung wala lang man. Kag kung nga explanation, makasakit naman sa imo, nga kinanglan mo pamatian. But, there are some people who would want that. Okay? Now, let's take a look at the statistics since this is part of the gender and development activity of NOLITC. Very interesting statistics on female ghosting habits versus male ghosting habits. So, take a look at the female, Anay. So, female, when you look at the female, the medyo hindi maglayo ilang ilang percentage. But women who have been ghosted, it says there, it's almost 27%. Now, women said, ako ya ang nag-ghost. Pero sa mga lalaki, men who have not experienced ghosting in any capacity. So, men kali, through these statistics, would maybe not consider that as ghosting. Because most of the time, di ba ang tendensiya sang lalaki, sila niyang kapalapit sa babae. Kag kung hindi sila nila type, then palayo sila. Pero sa nature sang babae, although in this generation, I would like to say nga, may mga babae, mga nag-express ng ilang feelings and emotion. Why not? Pwede gid. Pero I think this is also linking bala sa context sang culture, sang courting sa Philippines na nga kita, kung lalaki, ikaw yung mangita. So, most likely, men would say, ay, wala mo kaya nag-ghost. Wala man yan na. Okay? Sige. So, these are the psychological reasons why someone ghosts. Kaya para at least, maybe some of you there are feeling, ghost ako, Doc Donna. So, explain ko sa inyo nga aamon na. Or, maybe ikaw man ang nang-ghost. So, basically, avoidance. You look at the red one. So, why ga-avoid? Because the person would want, base may kulba siya, base magka-conflict. Also, difficult conversation. The person is not used to dealing with conversations such as difficult conversation. So, gusto niya malakat na lang sa. Or maybe the person would want to preserve the feelings or the emotions that you feel, para hindi ka ma-hurt, ma-avoid na lang ko. Or, this person might not so good in being confrontational. Bain na lang ta. Takaan ako. So, psychological reasons why someone ghosts. Okay, so when we feel ghosted, when we are heartbroken, sometimes, we cannot help but think of suffer kuya, Suffering actually is inevitable. Like in the context of pandemic, when I check on the research conducted by Cordero in 2021, it is entitled Sakit, Pigati at Pag-asa, a pastoral reflection on suffering during COVID-19 pandemic. And this is actually in the context of experiencing COVID, experiencing separation, grief, loss, separation from loved one, or even breaking relationships. So suffering is inevitable. When we feel heartbroken, it is the byproduct of our choice, but it doesn't mean you are less of a person. You look around you, ask someone randomly kung sinong wala kaagi na nasakitan. Wala naga-suffer. So all of us, we are suffering. We feel the feeling of suffering in one way or the other. Okay, so this one, I really want to share this parable, because when we look at ourselves in the context of suffering, when we feel ghosted, when we feel heartbroken, namian gitang sakiton pag itang balatsagon ta. At balang hambal ko we tend to romanticize the feelings of love, the feelings of being heartbroken. Why is that? Let me answer through this parable. This is the parable of the second arrow. So one day, as a man walked through the forest, an arrow flew from nowhere and lodged on his back. Naturally, syempre, pag-igo sa imo sa likod, that this man cried out in pain. His immediate reaction was to ask, Nga ako gid daw agkay. Ako gid siya. At least, no, hindi halin kay Cupid. His thoughts spiraled into self-pity. Nga ako gid. Why do bad things always happen to me? What have I done to deserve this? The negative thoughts that follow are known as the second arrow. Like when bad things happen to us, it already causes us suffering. Don't you agree? Like when something happened to us, we tend to label it and judge ourselves, no, for the lack of traits nga mabatuan na siya. No? And that compounds our suffering when we start blaming ourselves for our suffering. Like when you are heartbroken, di ba la, we tend to ask, kung ang tendency mo is to ask yourself, nga ako gid, yeah? Sa damo-damo nga ako gid maka-experience ini. So that is the second arrow. Like when you question, no, why bad things happen to me. We want to find the source of suffering, and when we can't, no, we subconsciously blame ourselves for it. And when we look at this picture, no, you try to look at this. This is so the message is so strong. Like when you are in the context of suffering, no, don't blame yourself. No, do not think of yourself as less, because in one way or the other, there is also meaning in suffering. There is meaning in suffering. So, like when in the context of love, I want you also to focus on self-love, self-compassion, no? Because self-compassion is the best self-therapy. So, what is self-compassion? Self-compassion basically have three main concepts. So, one is the feeling of self-kindness. When I talk about self-love, I'm referring to self-kindness. And self-kindness doesn't only limit to doing the things that you love. Self-kindness is asking yourself or maybe embracing that you are suffering at this moment. In this pandemic, I remember that my loved one is far away and I do not like this feeling. And this is so painful. You acknowledge the feeling and you ask yourself, may I be kind to myself? No. May I do things that makes me, feel happy, or yeah, be kind to yourself. So self-kindness, non-judging to yourself. Another concept of self-compassion in the context of self-love is common humanity. In this pandemic, some of you may say nga ako gid daw, nga kami gid. Like example in grief, nga si nanay gid, nga si tatay gid, nga kami gid nga pamilya. You might want to think that way, no? And it depreciates, no, the feeling of love or affects your positive emotion. It opens more of negative emotions. I want to remind you there is a context of common humanity. What is common humanity? Common humanity is looking into the perspective that all of us suffer in one way or the other, in different intensity, but definitely tanan kita naga-suffer sang sini nga pandemic. Tanan kita naga-experience sini. Wala sang exempted. Right? So common humanity. So when we think that way, nga la, siya gani, nag-heartbroken siya, pero lang tawa siya pala subong, she manages to put herself together and, find another lover and be in love again. No? That's common humanity. Okay? Another one, the very important concept man sang self-compassion is mindfulness. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness is embracing or feeling the feeling at this moment. Like, I am so heartbroken, ghost niya ko. This relationship, ay, Doc Donna, basi buwas, wala na kami. Or basi, kapila na ko siya yung patawad, kadamo na nga beses, kapulo na, siling niya, hindi na siya magbabae, pero aragyapon, in the context of marriage or in a deeper relationship. So mindfulness is embracing your feeling at the moment that you feel so frustrated, so depressed, maybe sad, and being mindful, and let's let that feeling flow and do not ever judge yourself for feeling that way. Okay, so that's being mindful. Being mindful is living in the present, not living from the past or not living for the future, but living in the present. That's being mindful. Okay, so yan. So we try to practice self-compassion. There are so many researches that say self-compassion really helps a person in challenging situations, not only in the context of love or being heartbroken and the like sa ginastorya natin. But, it also gives you full awareness of yourself and makes you feel like more of a human being. Yan. So these are the role of self-compassion. Take a look at that. No? So on the left side, we have the selfishness. The other side is selflessness. We try to compare what self-compassion is all about as compared to being selfish. People would say when you are self-compassionate, you are selfish. Definitely indeed. Why? Because self-compassion, it tones your ego needs. Di ba, may mga needs kita, but we do not suppress. But being selfish, need to constantly put the self ahead of others. Ikaw unahon mo gid, no? Let's say from fear of extending compassion, shame is denied and suppressed. You deny ano gani fear or the negative emotions. But in the other side, there's a selflessness, no? Lack regard for oneself and feelings, the perceived self as being less than others. So being selflessness naman, no? You express, no, the shame. Pero in a way naman, nga ti ikaw ya no? More kaya more mo siya gin-emphasize. But in the self-compassion mindset, more likely you tone, no, the ego needs without suppressing the self needs. What happens when we suppress shame? What happens when we suppress vulnerability? Like for example, na heartbroken ko, bay lang okay lang ko ya, I feel good about it. Sige na lang, okay lang ko gyapon. You tend to suppress it. Pero kung makita mo siya ba, Diyos ko, galalawas ang imo na batyagan. No? But in self-compassion, when you feel the negative emotions, vulnerability man sa, shame man sa, doubt man siya, confusion man sa inyong relasyon, no? You tone down, no, that kind of feeling, but you do not suppress. You embrace it, you acknowledge it. And that is what true self-compassion means. Okay, we're not selfish and we're not also selfless. Okay. Now, you might want to ask Doc Don how to reach that kind of, paano ko siya, anong tool nga pwede natin gamitin. This one, I'm sharing this. This is a self-care worksheet. And this is also one of the tools that I use, no, when I do counseling, especially when clients are quite confused, no, with the goals and the things that he or she might want to focus on, especially when it comes to the matters of the heart. So check lang daw physical, spirit. We try to put it in a way nga makafocus ta anay sa isa. So this is a self-care worksheet. Now, when you feel so heartbroken, you don't know where to pick up the pieces of your life right now, why don't you start with this now? Focus on yourself, self-care. Okay, moving on. This is actually the slides where I talk some of my experiences and my take when it comes to relationship and how does relationship work. I am married for 13 years, almost 13 years pa lang no kabata. But to some, do ka lipot, but to others, especially sa mga bago pa lang, do medyo okay na, no? Pero syempre, I would wish, no, to have a long-lasting relationship with my husband. But this is more of a product, not only of my experience, but researches also. So I am very happy to share this to you. I quote this as amlig, no? Amlig is to care, no, to protect. How to amlig or how to take care or protect your relationship to make it work. I'll start with this. No? So siling natin kay the stages of relationship, lust, the attraction and the attachment. Why do I start with the attachment? So basically, amuning end output nga agad yung biya ka nga ano lang na imo tilaw-tilaw lang. Syempre hindi. You would want to create long-lasting relationship with someone that you love. So the perfect family actually doesn't exist, no? Nor is there a perfect husband or a perfect wife. And let's not talk about the perfect mother-in-law. This is according to Pope Francis. If we learn to say we're sorry and ask for forgiveness, of course, the marriage lasts. So basically, awareness of each other's strengths and weaknesses can play a vital role in making the relationship grow. Like looking into what does he likes, what does she likes, it's not that gusto mo man ang gusto niya, pwede man na, no? Some couple would really want to know kung anong mga interes ang iba nilang upod. But I want you to remember that you two are two different persons. Lain kaya, lain man siya, lain mga interes niya. Embrace and admire ang iya mga own man niya, way of putting himself up, or ikaw man. No, you have to be aware of each other's strengths and weaknesses so that you will know when and where to complement. Yeah, partnership na abala, hindi niya nga siya lang permi, ikaw lang permi, no, it's not. It's more of being aware nga sa amo nga time siya ning sagad, sa amo nga time siya ning sagad, no. So sa konteksto sang pamilya or sang relationship, lantahon niyo kung anong mga sagad niya kay hindi niya sagad. Then that's where sa weakness you complement each other. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, next. So when we complement, how do we do that? Respect each other's differences. Lain ninyo gindakan, lain ng pamilya nag-raise sa iya, lain ang inyong pagpati, values, beliefs, no paginada, culture, religion, no pagin. You respect each other's differences. No, if you don't agree in one thing, maybe in some other things you agree. Okay? Talk about it. When you have concerns or problems, you talk about it and you learn to compromise. Submit to the higher court of appeals. You know, higher court of appeals? Of course, when you are in a context ng marriage, siyempre nung Ginoo guro. And if ara ka mo yan sa isa ka relationship nga start pa lang, no, it's best man to offer that relationship to someone higher than us. Okay, this one, M stands for managing your love bank. This is one, I really like this concept, Balanol, managing love bank. Like when, di ba, this pandemic, we want to check on our bank accounts. Check mo sa bangko, damo-damo na savings, pwede nakapakasal. Oh, why not? Pakasal, no? But nantawan nyo ana inyong love bank, no? So love bank also works in the context of like the deposit and the withdrawing of money from the bank, but this time in the context of love. So what do you usually put in the relationship? Are they all related to, you know, helping the relationship to thrive, or you are more of withdrawing? You know, you get ka lang, wala kaga butang. No, how do you manage your love bank? What are examples of emotions na ginabutang sa love bank? Siyempre, we put love. We put care. We put panyapon kung mag-abot na ang partner or ang asawa. O kung sa kay subong Valentine's, no, we put flowers. We put chocolates. So, grabe, no? And kung wala flowers and chocolates, we put good deeds. What else? Pero, kung may ara na opportunity, no, inaway ka mo and all, kung may ihugot ka da, at least may ara ka lang ang huguton, no? Can you imagine? When you need really, really something, may ara ka bahiran, tapos pag-check mo sa bank account mo, negative ka, what will you feel? You'll feel maybe desperate or you'll feel not so happy about it. So same man sa context ng love bank. Kung wala ka na karon kwaon nga love and care, paano pa maka-move on ng isa ka relationship? See? So manage your love bank. Yan. Oh, how do you manage? I've mentioned, no? These are samples lang isang i-deposit naton. Positive emotions, so like saying thank you, I love you, thank you for staying with me for all these years, no? The words of affirmation, I like you, I like the way you dress. The crush ta ka, no? Gifts, maybe. So we have different love languages. We have the words of affirmation, like when you say, no, the words that I love you, I like you, or maybe you express your love to one another by giving gifts, not saying any word but giving gifts. Oh, why not, no? Hindi wala siya gamba, say mo I love you pero may isa ka sako nga bugas. Okay? Gifts, acts of service is doing things for the one that we love. No, like for example, sa amo niya ni Ram, ang akong husband, hindi siya masyado expressive sa iya nga I love you, pero every morning ginadulong niya ko sa school, tapos sa hapon sugaton niya ko, lodo ka ha, okay, amo niya ang language of love, service, acts of service, and pwede man na, right? Quality time, no, maski sako gid siya, pero pag ambal mo nga I want to talk to someone, no, that's quality time. So pwede kid, you can express your love through that. And of course, the physical touch, which is I think, no, the most kanami man, no, when someone affirms you by tapping your shoulder, isubong pandemic, mang alcohol ang anay before you tap the shoulder or maybe shake hands. But physical touch is also another language of love. Yan. So try to check on your love bank, anong mga gina-deposit mo nga mga languages of love. Yan. Sige. Moving on, L is to, learning to forgive each other. Sa konteksto sang relasyon nga hindi pa kasal o kung kasal na gani, di ba? We're not, ambag ko kagina, we're not perfect. We're just trying to be, we try to live beside each other, and at some point as human being we commit mistakes, di ba? So we learn to forgive each other. Kung may sala ka, may sala man na siya. Kag kung may sala siya, may sala ka man. So learn to forgive each other. No? Forgiveness is also the key to keep your relationship last. No? I like this from Fitzgerald Ambalya. I love you, and that's the beginning and end of everything. O katahom, no? All right, commitment. How would you commit yourself? Ti Doc Don, sa first stage ng love, pwede nakakommit? Definitely hindi pa. Kaya getting to know pa lang man ka mo. But if you are into this person, kagusto mo yung mag-level up to the attachment, why not, no? Commitment is the key. And commitment does not only start, usually mga bata, no, sa kasal, makumit ikaw. Actually, ang kasal, do start pa lang gani. Medyo malawig-lawig pa na, no? Because every day of your lives, you'll be together. You'll discover things that you only discover. And commitment really plays a vital role, no, in keeping the relationship alive. So Saint Jose Maria Escriva, no, said to be happy, what you need is not an easy life, but a heart which is in love. No, can you imagine an army kuno that is fully in love, no? Wala sang may makapugong sa isa ka army nga puro in love. Oh, grabe nga passion. Okay, I stands for instill godly values and share morally acceptable beliefs. So, this is more likely referring to the family. No? Kung may family ka na, syempre, it's your role and responsibility as parents to instill godly values sa imo kabataan. Pero sa relasyon, still dapat gid, no? You have to understand the relationship in order to make it meaningful. You have to dapat may ara siyang kinhatag sa imo, no, nga nag-grow ka man as a person. Hindi lang to ka-experience na bala nga si ano to nadumduman ko pud kami to lain nga bagay, no, especially more on not so helpful nga bagay sa imo, pain lang. Pero if you remember this person nga naghatag sa imo, no, through the relationship, nag-grow ka man as a person, spiritually man, psychologically, and the like. So basically, kung hindi ka mo nagdayunay, tendency mo is to remember the person and smile. Diba? At least, I've made something good para balunon niya sa other yaman nga relationship. But instilling godly values in the relationship is also one of the way to keep the relationship alive. Right? So, yan. Lastly is guarding your heart. Whether you are in a whether you're marriage or is still single but in a relationship, you have to guard your heart. Even if you're not in a relationship, you have to guard your heart. Why? So you watch what you feed in your mind, especially during this time that it's just at your fingertips. All the things that you'd like to see, the things that you'd like to do, or the things that you visually, makita mo lang gid. So watch what you feed sa imo mind, because what you feed sa imo mind, well, basically starts from there. The thoughts you're thinking affects your feelings, emotions, and your feelings, emotions affects your behavior. So watch what you feed to your mind. And what do you feed? Okay, so this is one important aspect that I want to highlight also. Like, why do people cheat? Why do people, even married couple, experience such? So according to, this is from Psychology Today, an author, a psychologist, identified three major concepts of cheating: yearning, desire. But the yearning is not only to others, but it's more on yearning towards the feeling of being accepted. There's a feelings of deprivation. The yearning or the desire is also affected by the dopamine. Now remember the dopamine in dopamine, the serotonin that basically affects our behavior when we are in love. So same na sa konteksto sang cheating. The first stage is desire, desiring someone, something. No? So it contributes to a thrill seeking and risk taking kind of feeling. So children Why do people cheat, no? Hambal ko kagina sa sari aton gindakan. So most likely, children deprived of unconditional love, consistent love and affection develop, hunger to or yearning or desire. Children raised in harsh restrictions against sex often desire for that, for learnings and the feelings of deprivation. Aside from yearning, people who commit or into cheating, there's the psychology of entitlement. An affair does not happen if the person considering it has not given himself or herself permission. Entitlement. Entitlement is operating, no? Getting caught is the first thing that happens on the cheater's mind. So basically, gusto niya, entitled siya, gin-allow. Okay? So these are example of cheating activities, gazing at 10 seconds, feeling mo lang in love, getting revenge, no, at some point. Okay, lastly is supply. The availability. If there's no opportunity to meet willing partners, no, straying can't happen. But if there's an opportunity and there's lacking, ang sa love bank guro ang deposit very little na, minimum na, wala na gani ikwaon dito, puro na lang negative, no. So dito ya sa other side damo to ya supply, there's the availability. So basically there's opportunity. There are two types of cheater, no. We have accidental cheater and we have the habitual cheater. No, habitual cheater is a serial offender. Mo ning panunto lang nga panunto. Gusto lang niya mag-get into relationship para lang gid siya, no, para sa iya own, no, very selfish desire or need. But there's also what we call the accidental cheater, no, being in the wrong place in the wrong. Is there such thing, no? But according to a psychologist, there is such thing as accidental cheater. Okay? Okay, so to wrap up, basically know how to maintain and preserve a relationship. I believe it's best, no, to unleague your relationship. You aware of each other's strengths and weaknesses. You manage your love bank. You learn to forgive each other's mistakes. After all, you are human beings. No? Instill godly values. Share morally acceptable beliefs in the relationship, and guarding your heart to avoid, no, to avoid engaging in another relationship when you are in one relationship. Okay? And most especially, no, learn to pray for each other. No? When you pray for each other, even ako, no, I pray for my husband. No? And I hope that he's also praying for me. Wala ko gaas. But basically, it pays when you pray for each other. No? Learn to pray for each other. Okay? And of course, make God the center of your relationship. Yan. So this is the last part. No? We fall in love by chance, but we stay in love by choice. So loving, though it's a cocktail of emotions, it's interactions of our hormones. Basically, it also our responsibility, no, to choose the one that we want to stay in love. And in this pandemic, the World Health Organization reminds us that good health is the most important gift we can give each other this Valentine's Day. So stay safe, everyone. And yeah, happy Valentine's. And let's uh, let's move on to the question and answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Donna. Now we have known fully that being deeply loved by someone gives us strength, while loving someone deeply gives us courage. With all the many kinds of love that we have in the world, we will never run short of it, right? So, our speaker for today is really beyond amazing. And we would love to dive into a bit more intimate with the discussion of love. So, for our audience joining us virtually, you may join in the discussion by posting your questions through the open forum form link which we have provided, or post your insights and comments in the comment section. That's right. Please find the comment section of this live stream. We would really love to read your insights, or you want to post questions there, you may do so. You may also want to make a shout out for your loved one or significant other. Do you want that? Post it in the comment section. We will read your shout out for you. So let's say you want to greet your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your friends and family members. Yes, please do so in the comment section. We will read that one for you. And we are already seeing some comments in the comment section right there. Thank you. Get ready. It's time to hear some words of wisdom from today's featured guests. Are you ready, Doc Donna, and to our virtual audience? So, firstly, I would like to introduce to you someone who turns love into action by creating impactful programs for the center. Her experiences of love in different levels will help us bring to life the concepts we have just talked about. A virtual round of applause, please, to NOLITC's Vocational School Administrator, Dr. Maria Cristina Orbicido.
Hello, Red. Good afternoon and happy Valentine's to everyone. Doc Donna, happy Valentine's. Happy Hearts Day.
Thank you, Doc Tina. We really love to have you here with us today or this afternoon. Let us also have another interesting person in our virtual stage who claims to be a love doctor simply because a lot of our students here at the center come to her to ask for advices. Let's give a glad hand to Miss Sally Carmen Trio.
Hi, good afternoon, Donna. Good afternoon, Dr. and Miss Red. Okay, I just want to correct that. Again, self-proclaimed, not really a love doctor. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Sally, and see you in a while. Lastly, we'll spice up the discussion a bit by bringing in a fresh perspective in the group. She is a coffee lover, an art enthusiast, and has two dogs that bark for her attention. Let us welcome to stage Miss Mimi Vargas.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us, Doc Donna, and happy Valentine's Day.
Good afternoon, Sally, Doc Tina, and
Yes, let's begin to have some deeper insights from our expert guests, starting with this first question.
Thank you, Red. That was really an intense discussion about love. And, that's a refresher, Doc Donna. So let's start with the first question. Considering that feelings of love are mostly driven by physical responses, increased production of hormones and neurotransmitters, do you think love is rational or irrational?
thank you very much, Doc Tina. I can only speak, of course, no. Apart from being a counselor, I'm also a teacher, and one of the topics that we've discussed in class is love, courtship, and lust. No, and when we think of love, whether it's rational or irrational, I would like to say, no, love is an emotion, and when we think of love as an emotion, it's amoral. Emotion is amoral. Not until you put meaning on the emotion that you feel. Like for example, if you are in love and you do things, remember no sa mga testosterone and the estrogen nga naga-mix dira sa imo brain when you look at someone that you desire. So sometimes you do things nga do ka irrational man nga ang maludluhod ikudi nga ang pwede ko makasunod sa iya maski diin siya makadto kag hindi ko na pag ikaw paminsaron ng ako nga ko galingon. So at some point you might think that's irrational. Or maybe loving someone who does not love you back, agay kasakit. That's no, you still do things for him. So same man siya, no, when we look at love in a rational way, so depende sa paglantaw mo sang pagigugma kag kung paano mo i-attach siya no sang meaning, whether it's irrational or rational. But definitely, Doc Tin, with those surging of hormones or interaction of hormones, love, when we are in love, we tend to do things that's rational and irrational at some point.
Because sometimes love is beyond reason, right?
I do agree. No, when we are in love, it's not wala ta gina-equate kisa sa level sa aton intelligence, di ba?
Yes.
We hear people saying nga, "Bo, Diyos ko kaalam sa iya nga mo ginasaya ko magigugma." Diba?
Yes.
Pero come to think of it, you're not in the position to judge a person because that it is his or her feelings mo sa amo na nga moment.
So hindi mo siya pwede ma-equate to being, intelligent, and then you fall in love, and then all of a sudden you made the wrong choices. So hindi mo siya pwede ma-equate. Okay, complex and unpredictable ang love. Okay, so let's try to get to know the opinion of these two ladies, whether or not they have a stand on being rational in love or irrational in love.
Wow, that's quite a hard question, right? But what's your view, maybe?
For me, Miss Sally, I think the trigger is always irrational because you never know what could spark feelings of love. But since the actual feeling is physiologically, it makes sense physiologically, then for me, the actual feeling is rational. How about you, Miss Ellie?
Wow. So I guess I would just like to say, love me for a reason and let the reason be love.
Boy zone si Ma'am
Yeah,
Selly.
very good.
Yeah.
Chimpo na kanaya doon, kita lang mga inchindis. Right? Okay, that's good. Okay. So anyway, so for our next question to our expert speaker this afternoon, we would like to know your views on ghosting, especially that recently there's an uproar in the social media about the one that got away, Isha Constantino and Ryan Banks. So we really wanted to know what are your views on ghosting.
Totga pala ha. Totga, no? The one that got away. Very controversial love story.
Yeah.
Yang and Ryan. But anyways, I've mentioned in my presentation that ghosting is actually a situation wherein you parang pinaasa ka palagi, gin pa in love ka, tapos wala ka na lang gin sa pakdayon. So there are psychological reasons which I mentioned earlier, when you are when someone ghosts you. So one of which is ghosting is avoidance. So the person might not want to deal with the current situation because the situation might really harm the psyche or self mismo, and maybe hindi siya good in confrontation and all that stuff. But when personally, when ghosting is really immature way of dealing a relationship, because kung hindi ka na sa iya, why not tell the person? Not of course sa iya nga face, but there are so many ways how to express nga hindi na ko sa imo, or maybe sorry, not nga wait, dugin bilin mo lang siya bala sa ere, ikaw man be, gin pa in love ka tapos wala explanation nga hindi ta nakamakita, di ba? ano ba? So dapat guro ma-explain ka, because when you explain or when you face the person nga hindi mo siya gusto, that sounds more mature, that sounds more responsible. Feelings na bala, naging pukaw mo da.
Yes. So probably that's why wag magpaasa. Dapat oo, kasi usually girls would always, asa. But for the boys naman, wag naman magpaasa. What's your thoughts, maybe?
I mean, I think it goes both ways because there are also
Yeah,
girls that ghost.
Yeah, right.
So it just boils down, I think, to each person's level of maturity and their ability to communicate effectively with other people.
Are we speaking
From
from experience?
From realization.
Our realization, that's right.
From realizations from Doc Donna's presentation.
Oh, that's clear now.
Yes,
Yeah.
about Miss Ellie.
Yes.
Alright,
So
Miss
very good.
Ellie, are you aware of your love language?
Love language.
Your
Mine,
personal love language.
actually, it's used before it's personal touch, but that's what Doc did, Donna have said a while ago. Because of the pandemic,
It can change.
it can change. So I resort to words of affirmation.
So that's your first
Yeah, love
Love
language.
language,
Yeah,
okay.
friends, colleagues,
for everyone in
for
your life.
everyone in my life. What about you?
For me, I think it's quality time,
Oh, that's nice.
which is a little
Mhm.
difficult to achieve in the middle of a pandemic,
True, that's true.
especially if you don't live in the same household.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tricky to navigate.
Mhm.
But anyway, Doc Donna, How important is it to know each other's love language to make a relationship work?
Wow, nice naman ng question. Oh, very important. No, as while listening to you, Gani, you exchange no your ways of expressing your love, and I'm sure your partner or kung sino man itong in-expressan ninyo could really attest no that they feel so loved by your actions, and it's very very important to understand first anay imo nga love language. Then after which, understand your partner's love language. Kay there are tendency bala naton, like for example, ang aton love language, sambal ni Celis, ang una, ng touch, no? To let the person know the comfort, nyara siya, no? By touching. So nag-change siya sa into, ano gani, Cel? Words.
Of affirmation.
So, what if Sally's husband would want or Sally's partner would want being a touch man gyapon, so wala siya kaintindi nga pero wala ina ko niya gina agbayan or wala ina ko niya gina comfort by touching, so basi ma-misinterpret niya man niya hindi na siya wala kaga-express love sa iya. So I think it's very important gid nga ikaw mismo aware ka kung ano imo love language para ma-convey mo man di ba, ma-convey mo sa iya effectively. And at the same time, you also need to understand kung anong love language imo partner para at some point, mambalo man nga, okay, kung gaamo ni siya gali, that means he loves me. That means it is an expression of love. Kaya may harap na tendency kasi ka-frustrate ta, na ano mo naman, wag isa I love you sa akon. Pero may bugas, ang imo bulugas sa puno. May sudaan ka mong sarili. You know? So, yeah, that's one thing. Yun. But, yeah, very important.
Yeah, and sometimes the problem is if you change your love language and then you did not communicate it properly to your partner, they might think that you're already
Falling out of love.
Oh, yeah,
Or
or
just being distant when your
That's
love
true.
language has already changed
Oh,
because
or
of your
they might-
environment.
they might think that you're also doing something else, right? For
Oh.
someone. So it's very, right, Dr. Duana, this is very important that you communicate well your love language to your, even not just to your partner, even to your friends or colleagues at work.
That's
Because
It's also a relationship. It's also a kind of love. The relationship you have with your friends, with your
True.
colleagues, with your family.
yeah, and that leads to my next question to you, Doc Donna. What are your views? Because they might think that if you change your love language, you're already cheating, or you might be, doing something else. Okay, so what are your views in cheating? And is there any scenario where you can feel that it is justifiable?
Grabe nga pamangkot no, minsan ako biyanay, no? Cheating is justifiable. But as mentioned earlier, no? Mapagani kagina, there are psychological reasons, diba? Psychological reasons why people,
yeah.
person, fall into cheating. Like for example, there's desire. Not desire yung nga gusto niya lang gid, but desire of finding himself or herself to others. It might be ang partner niya, wala niya to nakita, pangita niya pagit sa iban. Cheaters would usually think nga kung may ara sila iban nga upod or others than their partner be right away, no. Makahambal sila nga, okay ko, I feel good because damo ang naluyag sa akon, damo. Pero we have to understand ang psychology beneath cheating or ang cheater mismo, siya mismo may ginapangita sa iban. Pero in fact, ang ginapangita niya, ara sa iya, ang iya bala, ang iya concern, ang iya yung problema, ang kakulangan niya, ang ginatry niya sa ibang pangitaon. That's why, hindi bala ma-satisfy. That's why ang tendency is to do it over and over again. But basically, no, cheating per se, hindi gidya, no. When you look at cheating, it's an action that basically affect the relationship in a magnitude kind of way, when you cheat, it's not only that you're breaking your relationship with the one that you love, but with your partner, but more so with children. When I happen to counsel teenagers, no, they would usually say because my parents got separated when I was that, and all the reasons as such, no, that is in connection with cheating, of parents or cheating had happened in a relationship. So basically, hindi kasi kaya yung impact, it's not only morally but also psychologically. It breaks family. It breaks the heart of children.
Yeah. That's so sad actually, no? If the parents will separate children,
Because of cheating.
yeah,
Yes.
children are really affected. And for me, with the word cheat, even in the classroom, right? It's really not justifiable. It's really not okay, but anyway, I guess Dr. Tina have more questions for this topic. Dr. Tina?
So what about if in a situation where there are no children involved? Do you still think there's any situation where cheating could be justifiable?
Still, it's not, no, hindi pong Japon eh. In one way or the other, when you try to look at it, although, like people could always rationalize, people could always say, could intellectualize, no, the act or behavior. Di, why ko naluyag, sige yun, di i-end mo eh. No, be responsible, i-end mo eh. Kung hindi ka naluyag sa iya, i-end mo, then you start. Diba la? Kahit when you do not end it, it's not being responsible, no? Dua, tatlo, apat. No, come to think of it. So kung wala ka naluyag, end lang. I mean, of course, it's easier said than done. No, mabal si Doc doon, ay end lang, Doc, end lang, check off. No, that's not what I mean. But what my point is, if you are falling into cheating, you come to, reflect upon your, nga mo niyaw, anong kulang ko sa life ko, hindi mahatag. Kung hindi mahatag, then why not, no, talk it out. Talk about it. And come to a decision, common decision, consensual decision sa inyo.
So it all boils down to loyalty, diba? When you care about the person, you would not want to hurt the person, Doc Donna. I don't know if
Yeah.
you're agree with that one. So, and cheating is really controversial because, I don't know if what's going on with our situation right now, that it seems cheating is just okay. When you cheat, it's acceptable. As long as you did your role na may closure ka lang, good na. So maybe it boils down to our values, or the foundation of our values. So you talk about self-compassion. So during this pandemic, a lot of us, really feel na we're so stressed out, we're so anxious. This basically the reason why we have this forum right now. We started this campaign with Hearticulate because we wanted to focus more on mental health. So how do we go about teaching self-compassion, especially to our children?
Yeah. Actually, self-compassion, by definition, when you check on websites, of self-compassion, Dr. Neff would really reiterate, self-compassion is giving the same kindness, that you giving same kindness to yourself as you would give it to your friends or to others. So it's more on self-directed compassion. Now, when we do compassionate tasks, we feel for others, we do things for others. But this time, the concept of self-compassion is refocused or redirected to oneself. And as I've mentioned earlier, Doc Tina, most of the time, we tend to give away ourselves to everyone. But when we try to come to think of it, kisa wala na bilin sa ato, tutay na lang, depleted na kita. So we tend to judge ourselves for being that, or even blame ourselves, or feeling guilty of not giving agad. Pero in fact, pag lantaw mo, wala ka niya bilin, ubus-ubus ka na niya. So, i-reiterate ko lang, self-compassion has 3 components. So self-kindness is one. You do things, even mga small things na nga na-accomplish mo, you appreciate yourself. You say, you're doing your best, that's great. Do it more. Especially for the things that gives joy, that sparks joy into your life. Kasi kakalipatan na, especially during this pandemic. Apart from that, the common humanity, the feeling that hindi lang ikaw ang nagabatsyag sina, ang mga tao, gabatsyag mo na. So, buligan mo yourself, And lastly, being mindful. Mindful of the things that comes to your mind, mindful of the things that you feel, and do not ever judge yourself for feeling that way. That just living in the present. And in this pandemic, isa na sa mga challenge man sa aton. Kaya kung paano ko mangin self-compassionate sa amo nga time nga kung nantong ko, wala kami, very practical about it, no? Wala kami pagkaon, wala kami work, di ba? Hindi man ta naive mo. Like when we say lang mo yung concept, try to i-apply sa real life din nila. Paano? Just go back, help yourself. And go back to loving yourself. The more mo gani dapat kinanglan, i-love mo self. Especially during this time.
These are the things na malipatan tagid most of the time, no? Ato nga self-love.
Yeah.
And sometimes wala na nato na redirect ato nga self na I don't know if you're aware of this phrase, when the well runs dry, wala na gali unod ato nga bubo. And we continue to give out the water to everybody. I mean, we forgot nga kinanglan tagli mag-deposit man sa para sa health ta. So this pandemic, most of us experience ang anxiety because nga nalipatan ta aton nga self-care.
Precisely.
So, yeah. So ladies?
Yeah, right. What I have learned a while ago from Doc Donna, the love bank. So if we also deposit on our bank account, we also need to deposit something for ourselves. And that's real. First and foremost, love yourself.
Yes, you have to fill your own cup before you can give to others from the overflow.
Wow. Because you
can't give from an empty cup. You can pour from an empty cup.
Wow.
Very true. I agree.
Okay, so we have questions from our open forum.
Yes, from our open forum. In line with what Doc Donna has just discussed, I think what you discussed, Doc, is philosophy, the self-love. The next question we have here is still about the types of love. For you, Doc, which is the most important of the types of love?
Okay. Actually, all of the types of love that I mentioned are but important. Even the mania. Even when you think of mania, wow, pero it gives us no lessons. But the highest form of love, of course, is love to our God, to the divine. And when we look at that kind of love, it's lasting, Hindi siya yan imula nga. It's a kind of love bala nga hindi ikaw kahatag, pero ikaw ginatagaan man more. But when hindi mo siya mamba kasi nung important or not important, all of them are really important. It's up for you on how you would express this kind of love. Abot mga parts ng ating presentation is an eye-opener, Mostly when we think of love, we only think of eros. But when you try to think deeper, damo pagali na type of love na pwede mo ma-express.
There has to be balance, Doc, you think?
Right. Okay, so another question from the open forum link. Thank you. Send your questions if you still have there. It's still open. You can send it to us so we can read it for our guest speaker to answer. So this is a very deep question. Is commitment a prerequisite of love, or can love exist without commitment?
Wow, very tricky question ba? Love and commitment, equal bala sila? I think, hindi ko ka-exist ang isa kung walang isa mo. Personal ko lang yung paglantaw, ha? Because when you love someone, that entails also commitment mo to be with that person, ups and down and everything. But when you are not committed to someone, definitely, pwede ka ka-commit bala nga wala pagigugma, pwede. If you think that, sa like ano to ganing sa type of love naton, the pragma, kind of love nga nag-deny sila because syempre kalawig sa kalawigon kag naintindihan nila isa kag isa, pero can we say nga wala sila love, basta ma-highlight lang ang isa over the isa, but I believe personally hindi guro ka-exist, dapat ma-coexist sila. When you love someone, it entails commitment. When there's commitment, definitely there's love in there, pero basta ma-highlight ang isa, either commitment more than love or love than commitment. But we cannot look at the relationship nga love per se lang siya kag wala commitment.
Alright, so we have here one question from our client, from our audience. Doc Donna, if you could pick a new golden rule about love, what would it be? That's from Miss Marites Alimpuyo.
Very interesting question, no? Kung ano ba, no? About actually, no, I'm more of an advocate of self-love, of self-compassion, because when you love yourself, you could masapos sa imo magpalangga sa iban. So para sa ako, no, love yourself first so that you could also love others. Bodo ka golden rule mangyapon, no? Do unto others what you would want others to do unto you. Pero ang context ko pala, Ma'am Tess, is that if you love yourself, if you know what you like, what you want, if you filled in your cup, definitely ma-overflow lang na sa iban. Romantic partner mo man siya o kung neighbor mo man na sa nga wala mo minasapak for pila na katuig, definitely you'll find love in there. Even in the moment of suffering. There's a psychiatrist no, that I really like in the person of Dr. Viktor Frankl, and he's a psychiatrist during the Holocaust, and he saw a lot of suffering. But siling niya, you know, even in the moment of suffering, you still have a choice. So you can choose love even in the moment of suffering. So muna, in that context, no, balik na to, self-love. Love yourself so that you can love others also.
Okay, that's well said. So any more questions from you ladies?
So far,
The 100 questions, ang prepare ni Ma'am Sally, the 100 questions. Hindi kita ni ka-date karon. Sa question and answer.
You're on in a hot seat right now, Doc Donna, but you did well, and we are thankful enough for your time. I know how busy you are, and yet you are here with us celebrating the Hearts Day, and we are grateful for your time and for your presence this afternoon, and of course for your presentation. Really touched a lot of lives, and I actually received a message from a friend, and she told me that she can really relate because at first she thought it was just like about love between boyfriend girlfriend, and then you're talking about self-love, and she was she's really thankful for that, and we are also very much thankful for your time as well. Thank you, Dr. Donna.
Yes, we would like to really thank you for that
sharing
one.
your knowledge with us and our audience as well. And
Doc
Yeah.
Teens.
So, Doc Donna, we would like to hear your parting words. And again, before we end, we would like to congratulate Hearticulate for, you know, partnering with us. And also, we would like to commend TUP for allowing Hearticulate to be our partner in this mental health campaign. So all of us are excited to run all the episodes towards December. And we are really excited to have a lot of speakers from your group. Thank you very much from the bottom of our heart, from the province of Negros Occidental, from the governor's office, from the office of Governor Bong Lacson, and from the group of the Gender and Development Committee, the Focal Point System. We really thank you very much. And we would like to hear your parting words.
Okay, so everyone, first I would like to really thank NOLITC for entrusting me this topic, no, and I feel so honored, Sally. I'm happy to see you, Sally. You know, history back then. No, I never expected, Sel, that we could meet through this project, and I'm so excited. Also, Doc Tina, for what the possible topics that we could discuss through this virtual platform. I'm so excited also. But of course, I would like to remind each and everyone in this virtual room, no, that to fall in love is really easy, but to stay in love is really a decision to make. So when you will have a date later on, or tonight, or the next days within this week, no, try to think of that, no. And I would like to remind each and one of you that, love yourself first, no, so that you can love others as well. So there you go.
thank you for your
Thank
time,
you,
Dr.
Dr.
Donna.
Donna.
And thank you also to our audience for your participation in today's event and for watching the first episode of NOLITC Cares. We would like to take the stage back to Miss Red for the certification for Dr. Donna.
Thank you very much to our expert speaker, Dr. Donna Lastima, and of course to our invited guests for that very interactive and engaging discussion. In this crazy world full of change and chaos, let's love more and often. All right. Before ending, let's thank our speaker, of course, for sharing her expertise and knowledge in the first ever episode of NOLITC Cares webinars. Let me share to you the certificate. And the certificate reads, the Province of Negros Occidental Language and Information Technology Center presents this certificate of appreciation to Dr. Donalyn Guerrero Lastima, registered guidance counselor and psychometrician, for sharing her valuable expertise and commendable service, extended as resource speaker in the webinar Love in the Time of COVID-19, given this 14th day of February 2022 via YouTube and Facebook live stream. Again, thank you so much, Dr. Donna.
Thank you also.
All right. We also would like to express our profound appreciation to our virtual audience, especially to Schools Division Office of Kabangkalan. Madam, salamat for joining the first ever episode of NOLITC Cares. To Boso, all right, we also have our virtual audience from Magtongtong Elementary School. Thank you for joining us. We also have our virtual audience from Don Salvador Benedicto. Hello, and madam nga salamat. From Victoria City and Sagay City. Alright, we also would like to shout out, of course, those of you who have posted their comments in the comment section. Okay, I might not be able to read all of your comments, but here we go. We have here June Judith Octoso watching from Silay City. Maayong hapon and thank you. We also have here a greeting from Mary Rose M. Concepcion. She says, Happy Valentine's Day. And, And also the same with La Tosa Linlin. Good afternoon and Happy Hearts Day. Okay. And also greetings from Shari Villabert Peñaflor, blessed afternoon, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day to you. June Judith Octoso, shout out to my loving wife. Okay, can we know what's the name of your loving wife so that we can mention her name in this platform? Happy Valentine's Day to both of you, June and Judith Octoso. May you enjoy this special day together. Hello and happy Valentine's Day, says Rachel Agonay Obiera. My name is Rachel Obiera from Salvador Benedicto. Happy Valentine's Day to you, dear. Atienza Bocol Evelyn, watching from Camanse National High School Schools, Division Office of Kabangkalan City. Thank you for joining us. And also we have here a comment from Diana Duhenyo. Thank you so much, Doc Donna. Heart. Very well said about self-love. All right. Perhaps that was your takeaway. I hope you give more self-love to yourself. Cherry Lynn Romano Palmes, watching from Barangay Minuyan, Morsha, Negros Occidental. Hello, and thank you for joining us. We also have here another comment from Erica Bainosa, watching from Tuboso National High School. Thank you, or Tuboso Negros Occidental, rather. Thank you so much. And another comment from Kamisato Ayaka. Hello there, and thank you, Doc Donna, and God bless. And also another greeting from Diana Duhenyo. Shout out to my instructor, Mr. Larry Franco. All right, thank you. And I guess your trainer is so happy to receive that message. Marites Tuapes Alimpoyo. Thank you, Doc Donna. A proud NOLITC trainee. Hello there, and happy Valentine's Day to you. And we have some more comments. All right. And to all of you, our dear virtual audience, thank you so much. Another lovely greeting from Grace Portoza Alagaw. I hope I mentioned that right. Good afternoon and happy Hearts Day. Love to read that. Watching from Florentino National High School. Did I read that right? Okay. And Judith Octoso responded, my wife's name is Mirna Pedrosa Octoso. Hello there. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Miss Mirna. And also to my daughter, Alisa May Pedrosa Octoso and John Octoso Earl. Happy Valentine's Day to the rest of the family. And thank you for joining us today. Hello there, Cheryl Fernandez. Shout out to my co-trainees of CCS Batch 205. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. We have a shout out from Marjan Magilano. Shout out to myself, of course. Hello, Marjan. I love yourself. Yeah, perhaps that was your takeaway as well. Love yourself more, all right? Okay, so that was the reminder and one of the parting tips of Doc Donna, self-compassion. Do we have more greetings? Okay, so we also have here one greeting from Javi Boso. Hello there, Ja. Thank you for joining us. Shout out to my CCS 202 instructor, Miss May Lunasco. Hello there, Miss May, and thank you and happy Valentine's Day. Hello there. Hi, Sir Peter Caballo, who is one of our very active and engaging participants. Thank you very much, Doc. Watching from La Casillana, Negros Occidental. Maayong hapon sa tanan nga nagatan-aw halin sa La Casillana. Thank you so much, sir, and to the faculty and staff of La Casillana National High School. Good afternoon. Okay, we also have here another Valentine's Day greeting. Shall we show this one? Happy Valentine's Day, guys, from Verhel here from CCS Wave 201 with a heart and a rose emoji or emoticon. Hello, and of course, another greeting as well from Eleanor Pontino de Mapanag. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. She says, love is a gift from God, sacrifice and unconditionally. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud. That is a lovely verse from the Bible. Thank you for sharing that one, Eleanor. And also another one here, Richelle Arisivita Matamoro. Good afternoon and happy Love Day to CCS Batch 206. Happy Valentine's Day to the rest of your batchmates. Thank you. Okay, all right. And also, Cheryl says here, happy, okay, also to Sir John Hernia, a good instructor, God bless. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Sir John Parson Hernia. Hello. And we also have another greeting from Micah Mallorca. Good afternoon, watching from Isabela. Maayong hapon to the people there in Isabela. Okay. And another greeting. Let's read one more. Sarah Lee Arisivita. Good afternoon and happy Hearts Day to CCS Batch 206. Thank you so much. And there's actually so much more of you commenting in our comment section. And thank you for your insights and for sharing your knowledge and your questions in our comment section. It's actually a very good way for us to interact in spite of the fact that we are not gathered physically, but yet we were able to make this time productive and very engaging for all of us. Thank you very much for your very active participation. We will have another exciting or more exciting lineup of speakers waiting ahead next week, or actually tomorrow we will have another Tech4ED webinar. So we hope to see you at 10 o'clock in the morning using the same platform. We will be live through our Facebook live stream and also through our YouTube channel, so please join us there, all right? And at this point, I would like to invite everyone to do not forget to accomplish your online evaluation. So the link to our online evaluation is posted in the description bar, or you may scan the QR code, which will be flashed in your screen right now. There you go. Sorry, that's not it. Our online evaluation is right here. We will post it again. Okay. So let us know, what do you think of this webinar? Okay, so kindly scan the QR code flash on your screen right in this part, or you may find the link in the description bar, or you may also access the online evaluation through the comment section of this Facebook live stream. I hope that you are doing it now, because this online attendance and online evaluation are prerequisite to you for getting your digital certificate. Okay, there we go. And of course, catch our NOLITC Cares webinars that will be live streamed starting this month via NOLITC Facebook page and our YouTube channel. The evaluation site will be open until 6 o'clock this evening only. Make sure that your email address should be typed in correctly. Be careful with the spelling of your email address so it won't bounce back. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes our first ever episode of NOLITC Cares webinar entitled Love in the Time of COVID. Stay safe, everyone, and take care. Please enjoy your Valentine's Day celebration and be safe. NOLITC Inspire, NOLITC Cares, Avance, Migrense.